And welcome again. ASMR topic for today: medieval America versus medieval Europe. A summary comparison with only quirky and funny facts. Well, medieval America, a fine or fun concept because while America didn't have a medieval period in the same of the sense of Europe, many indigenous civilizations and cultures during that time would be considered in Middle Ages before the European settlers to arrive. We are talking about the standard medieval period time, which was between 500 to 1500 AD. They were thriving complex, sophisticated civilizations far from the European ways of living life. And here are some intriguing and quirky facts about medieval America in comparison. Alright, first, let's meet the tooth technology. So, tooth technology. Well, America, the Maya and the Mesoamerican practiced cosmetic dentistry. Cosmetic dentistry. Inlaying teeth with jade, gold, and pride. Well, in Europe, tooth was a primitive. Barbers doubled as dentists, so barbers were dentists. And people often believed toothcakes were used by toothworms, were caused by toothworms. Alright. Good. Next. City planning. Well, America. Georgia in the present day Illinois was an impressive city, planned street and pyramids, bigger than London, bigger than London. So they have planned streets. Well, in Europe, most medieval European cities were chaotical built cities. Chaotical built with winding streets and no long-term planning. Well, next, cuisine quirks. America had cuisine. America has corn, chocolate, and pepper. Chili pepper. No wheat, no cows, and no chickens. Well, on the other side, Europe had wheat, wheat bread, beer, and dairy. That were very common, but no potatoes, tomatoes, and chocolate until 1492. We can say here potatoes as well. Okay. Writing systems. Well, in America, writing system, the Maya had a full developed hieroglyph writing system. Maya, Europe. Most people were illiterate, and books were handwritten, and books were handwritten. How about the pets? Well, in America, the only domesticated large animals were dogs, turkeys, and llamas in the Andes. So, dogs, turkeys, and llamas. Well, in Europe, they were cats, dogs, pigs, cows, chicken, and most funniest thing is that these animals, they're some way put on trials for serious crimes as well. So when the European settlers arrived to America, Americans started to import most of the European breeds. So now, if you're an American, you're a cat lover, you must know that cats were imported from Europe in medieval times, Middle Ages, as well as the turkeys were imported from Americas. You're right, so next. So, religious power. Well, in terms of religious power, America religion was animistic, polytheistic, and human sacrifice as part of comic balance. So, religion, human sacrifice, part of rituals. On the other side in Europe, well, the church dominated the social life, and relics were believed to have miraculous power. Well, so miraculous that people even stole them. Relics had, miraculous powers. Theater and ritual. America rituals were often included ball games, so rituals. Ball games and bloodletting. Bloodletting as a sacred performance. On the other side, in Europe, traveling jesters, morality plays and mystery pageants entertained peasants and nobility alike. justice, and morality. Entertain the justice. Well, now, timekeeping. Yeah. Timekeeping, the Mayan astronomers tracked eclipses and planetary motion with shocking precision. So, Mayans, astronomers. On the other side, in Europe, well, time was loosely marked by church bells and sundials. Sundials and church bells. Mechanical clocks. Mechanical clocks. Mechanical clocks were rare but symbolic. So Europe was ahead somehow in terms of precision. One of the most well debated chapters is weapons and warfare. And here we have in America in the Middle Ages the Aztecs used obsidian bladed clubs. So weapons. Bladed clubs. Obsidian. Clubs that could decapitate a horse if they had known the horses. Well, the horses were in Europe and in Asia. And Europe had knights. Knights used swords. And dwelling snails appeared in the margins of battle manuscripts. Knights. Building materials. Well, America in the Middle Ages civilization like Pueblans built multi-story stone cities in cliffs. So, built multi-story cities in cliffs. Well, in Europe, there was a very interesting other side, castles and cathedral. Castles and cathedrals were built by massive stone blocks and flying buttresses. Well, projected, designed, planned by architects. Art and decoration. Well, in terms of art and decorations, America used vibrant, symbolic murals and feathered cloaks. Well, in Europe, loved religious iconography, gargoyles, and gold-leafed manuscripts, as well as paintings, very detailed natural paintings. Bathing habits. Well, America and many native societies had regularly and used sweet lodges. Sweet lodges. Well, in Europe, post-Roman Empire, regular bathing was often avoided, seen as morally suspect and dangerous, right? And there were public baths. Well, not all over Europe, so that's clear. Communication. America. Well, in terms of communication, the Inca. South America used quipus, knotted strings. So, quipus. To record informations and runners were messages, knotted strings. Europe relied on messengers. Scrolls, and even pigeons to transmit the messages. Table manners. America ate with hands, often sitting on the ground communally. Well, in Europe, early medieval folks as well ate with hands, but in aristocrats, layers, societal layers, forks were considered a status. A social status. And the last one, the footwear. Footwear, let's write here. Footwear. In America, sandals. And or nothing, or moccasins. Depending on the region. On the other side, in Europe, shoes were often pointy and impractical. The longer your shoe tip, the wealthier you were. Well, that was very peculiar, right? The longer your shoe tip in Europe, the wealthier you were. Well, turns out while Europe was busy burning witches and inventing the fork with great suspicions, people in the Americas were building cities, playing sacred games, and blinking on their own teeth with jade. Two different worlds, different timelines. Oh, no, the same timeline, different worlds. But a different systems, somehow chaotic. Whatever is, it was pointly. Shoes in Paris or sweet lodge in the southwest. Medieval history wasn't just knights and dragons like in Europe. It was weird everywhere, and honestly, we wouldn't have it any other way. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this antithesis or comparison of America in medieval times versus Europe in the same period. By the way, now it's time for you to drop off some comments below related to the subject. And, of course, excuse my very uncalligraphic or bad writings. Well, thank you very much, and until next time, I wish you all the best. Bye bye.